before we get into Firebase, this thing right now lives totally on our local machines. We want to host this on GitHub pages like our other stuff. We don't want to make our teacher clone our repositories like some kind of animal. Plus, it's handy for us to show it to people. Having people look at your code on GitHub is all well and good. If they can actually run the thing, they can actually see it running, that's all the better. So let's see if we can make that happen. We've done it before, but now it's a little different. Just looking at our repository for NoteHerder. Do you see index.html? No, it's not there, right? It's in here, but that doesn't even have a script tag leading to any of our React. This is not the version of the site we run, right? Because we have to transpile this stuff. We have to turn our JSX into actual JavaScript. So this is not the runnable version of the thing. You have to actually run npm install and then serve the thing up. It has to run from a web server. Or we have to build it ahead of time and deploy it that way. So there's a fairly easy way to do this with something that you create with Create React App. Let's go back to the Create React App README. Facebook Create React App, which this may be still what the README looks like on your project if you haven't replaced it, because it's the default. Let's go to the actual documentation. User guide. If you look through here long enough, you'll see deployment near the bottom. So we've been running yarn start, which launches a development server, which automatically keeps the thing built and served up to the browser. But there's another command in there for yarn build, which actually generates the static site that you can deploy somewhere. Or you can make a script that just does it for you. So there are a few different deployment scenarios that it actually documents here. That's apps client-side routing, blah, 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 building for relative paths. Okay, here's how to deploy to Azure. Firebase, interesting. GitHub pages, here we go. So, step 1, add homepage to package.json. This step is important. If you skip it, the app will not deploy correctly. So in package.json, you need a homepage field for your project that points to where your project would be on GitHub pages. I don't know that we know that yet, so we'll come back to this. Maybe this shouldn't be step 1. Maybe this should be step 2 or 3. But look at it. My username.github.io/myapp. So it's probably going to be whatever your username is, .github.io/NoteHerder. If you've noticed the URLs it's creating for GitHub pages when you do add it to a project, that's the format it takes. Unless you happen to host it on a different domain or something like I do. But you have to do that for it to determine what the root URL is inside the compiled app. If you look at index.html, see it has this public URL thing in there. So one of the things it's going to do in the build step is replace that with the actual URL. So those URLs are going to be wrong if you don't put the homepage in there. So make sure you do that. Step 2, install GH-pages and add a deploy script to package.json. So add GH-pages. So that would be yarn add GH-pages. So inside your project folder, yarn add GH-pages or npm install GH-pages. And we've established that does two things. It not only installs it, puts it in your node modules folder, it also adds it to your dependencies in package.json. GH-pages. Then add the following scripts in your package.json. So in addition to listing your dependencies, you have scripts here at the bottom, like start. This determines what yarn start's going to do, what yarn build is going to do, etc. So we're going to add a couple scripts. Pre-deploy and deploy. So remember, this is JSON, not JavaScript. There's not going to already be a trailing comma after eject, so make sure you put a comma there. Paste in the next one, pre-deploy, and then deploy. And make sure you do not leave the trailing comma. So deploy is going to run ghpages-d build. Pre-deploy is going to run npm run build. So the way scripts work, if you have pre something, anytime you run that command, it'll run the pre thing first. So you can also have a pre-start or a pre-build. So we have a pre-deploy. So before we run ghpages, we make sure that we build the thing first. What else does it say here? If you're deploying to a GitHub user page instead of a project page, you'll need to make 2 additional modifications. I don't think we're doing that. Deploy the site by running npm run deploy or yarn deploy. And then, of course, ensure your project settings use GitHub pages. So I don't know why this isn't step 1, but because you're not using the master branch, you're using this branch. So this branch needs to be there first. All right. Homepage we know is going to be wrong, so we'll just put what we think it's going to be. It's going to be something like this. So in our package.json, I'll just put it right under name and version. Homepage, dstruce.github.io/noteherder. And then I want to just be able to type npm run deploy or yarn deploy. Yarn deploy. First, it's going to build. All right. If I go out to my GitHub pages, or excuse me, to my GitHub site for this project, and I look at the branches, you should now see a ghpages branch. That's what our deploy script did. It built the site and deployed it to a branch called ghpages. And it automatically pushed it. So let's go to settings, turn on GitHub pages, and yeah, it's there. Your GitHub pages site is currently being built from the ghpages branch. If for some reason this isn't there, make sure you turn on GitHub pages and make sure you choose the ghpages branch, not your master branch. The master branch isn't going to work. And if you find that this is different than what you put in your home page, or if you just want to make sure you didn't mistype anything, you can copy and paste that. Stick it in here. And redeploy. If that was wrong, if you did the homepage wrong, you will need to do that again. So you could rerun your build thing. I need to commit these changes to the changes that I made to package.json and yarn.lock. Add GitHub pages deploy script. And I will rerun yarn deploy, which first runs build. npm run build. When that finishes, it says Build folders ready to be deployed. And then we run ghpages build, which is our actual deploy script. There you go. Yeah.
So what do we need to do after the GHpages branch is created?
Go to your settings on GitHub. Scroll down to GitHub pages. Make sure that it is set to be published on that branch. If it is, then you should be good. And you know, of course, this doesn't do anybody any good unless you copy this URL and put it. Oops. Remember to edit this and paste it into the website field. Otherwise, no one will know that it's published, right? So make sure you paste it into the website field here, not the description. That'll get truncated and you won't be able to click it. Paste it into website. Yeah.
Yeah, mine too.
Okay. Just a minute.